Hey, Grace, are you there? I heard that your date last night didn't go well, did it? What is this now, the 10th guy that you've gone through? You're already 36 years old and you've never ever been in a serious relationship? Don't you think that's just a bit pathetic?
Excuse me? And just what is pathetic about wanting to take my time and make sure that I found the right person, huh?
I just mean that if you wait too long or act too picky, that no one is ever going to want to marry you. You really should just lower your standards and get married already. It would make things so much easier for you. Because you know that as you get older, it's going to get harder and harder to get people to think you're attractive.
I don't really care what other people think of me. Besides, I'm in no huge rush to try and get married right away. Besides, the person that I would want to marry wouldn't care about my age or how I look. In fact, it's been Mom this whole time who's been setting up these blind dates for me, but I never even asked her to.
Well, if Mom didn't do it for you, then who would? Although you'd probably rather date one of those dumb men from the romance novels that you read. You're such a loser. Do you know that? When are you going to get real? You realize that the written word isn't any kind of substitution for a real flesh and blood husband, right?
Literally, what are you even talking about right now?
Oh, please. I already know all about it from Mom. She tells me that you spend so much of your free time with your nose buried in a bunch of romance books. But you're almost 40 years old. It's time for you to put the books down and try experiencing life for once. If you don't do that, then people might start to think that you're some kind of creep or something. Don't you want to be happily married?
I am sorry, but Mom has no right to judge me for wanting to read books when all she does is watch TV all day. As for getting married, when the right person comes along, I'll know, and then we'll marry.
You really think that the perfect man is just going to walk right up to you, get on one knee, and propose to you right then and there? No, I know that you really have been reading too many of those romance novels. But do you really actually believe that at your age? I mean, do you think that's how dating works in the real world? Especially at your age?
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh? How stupid do you really think I am?
I don't think you're stupid. More just in denial and jealous of how much more successful my love life has been. After all, while I was getting married at 20, you were still lying to us about that made-up boyfriend that you had, remember? Now that was a new low for you. But it also was just so funny how pathetic it was.
It wasn't a made-up boyfriend, Sally. He was real.
Yeah, sure. It wasn't just someone that you came up with because I was getting married that year. And how could you not be jealous when my husband is so handsome and sweet and makes a ton of money on top of that? I mean, I'm sure you've seen my vlogging about just how amazing our lives together are. You are seeing all my posts about my life, aren't you?
No, actually, I haven't really checked out all your social media pages at all.
Wait, what? What do you mean? You have to go and look. I post something just about every single day. Like the other day, I was posting all about the new Porsche that my husband bought. And I included this in the caption, so you would know if you were following me. But it cost around $1 million.
Wow, your husband really bought a Porsche? I guess he must be doing really well at work then, huh?
Well, I can't really say that I'm all surprised, given I know just how brilliant he really is. Maybe it's time you admit that you have a couple of things that you would learn from me about how to find a husband. After all, we're only young in our lives once, and once it's gone, that's it. So maybe you should put just a little bit more work into finding a husband while you still have your youth. If you don't, then I can guarantee you now that you're going to end up old and lonely.
Well, thank you so much for all your well-meant concerns about me, Sally. But I want you to know that even when I am old, I would still rather be old and have stuck to my principles than unhappily married for several decades.
Oh, sorry. I should have been more clear. I'm not really worried about you at all. I'm really only concerned for Mom and Dad's sake. I mean, don't you feel bad for the two of them? Obviously, they thought you were going to be the first to move out, but you're still living with them. Don't you know how badly they want you out of the house already? You're nothing but a leech to them.
Are you seriously saying that I'm just leeching off of Mom and Dad? You really have no idea what you're talking about, do you?
Well, am I lying? If you think that I am, why don't you go and talk to Mom about this? Because she told me that she is sick and tired of having you at home. Both of our parents see it clear as day, the scam that you're trying to run on them. They call and text me every day just talking about how much they'd wish you'd just leave them alone already.
Is this supposed to be some kind of cruel joke or something like that? You really think that I'm going to believe a word that you're saying?
But everything I'm saying is true. All you do is use up Mom and Dad's money. And then you have the gall to try and tell me I'm wrong when you can't even take care of yourself. You know, Mom was actually crying to me over the phone the other day. She told me that thanks to you, she doesn't even have any money to buy clothes for herself.
Oh, come on, that is just ridiculous.
It's totally true that you just take all of Mom and Dad's money and just use it on yourself, right? And meanwhile, you make Mom and Dad take care of the house and do all of the cleaning while you go out partying all night. Although I can't imagine what it actually is that you're doing since you don't even have a boyfriend.
You have got some serious nerve talking to me like this, do you know that? And has Mom really said all of these things to you? Because I don't know if I believe that.
Well, I don't care what you believe because I already know that you're just awful. You do nothing to help out our parents while you live in their house and use them for their money. You're going to leave them penniless and make sure that every last cent of their savings has somehow been spent on you. You're the one that has some serious nerve treating your own family that way. Do you know that? Because you're nothing but a pathetic old maid who nobody is ever going to love. That's why you have to take out your frustrations on Mom and Dad, isn't it?
I can't believe that you are actually sending me messages like that. You are taking this way too far right now.
I can't believe that you still won't own up to the truth. Maybe this is why you can never find someone to date you. You just refuse to acknowledge any kind of truth.
Mom, are you there? I think you and I need to have a little chat right now. Do you really think of me as some kind of leech on you and Dad? Because I think we both know that that is just a bit ridiculous.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Where is this coming from all of a sudden?
I am talking about all the things that I just heard from Sally. She told me all about the conversations you two have about me behind my back. Do you really think that I'm just after yours and Dad's money? And that I forced you two to take care of the house while I go out all the time? Because I think we both know that I have never done that even once.
Grace, dear, what on earth are you talking about? You're always the one who is taking care of the house, and I've never said anything to the contrary. I think that your sister is just jealous of living so far away from us, so she's resorted to making up horrible lies about you.
Because I just want to make it clear now that the only financial role I play for you and Dad is helping Dad pay down his credit card debt. I have been working so hard for a year to try and repair his credit score and lessen the debt that he has. That's the only way that I control your money.
I know. And you have to know how grateful your father and I are for that. It's been such a relief seeing some actual money go into our savings account for once. We had been living in the red for so long before then.
I know, and there was no way that your retirement money was going to be enough for the kind of help that you two needed. That's why I've been helping you guys by giving you money every month. It was so that you could focus on paying down your debt.
Of course we all know that's true. In fact, the only reason why your father and I can't spend money how we used to is because you're insisting that we save so much.
Well, so then why did Sally think that I was putting all of the housework on you and Dad? Because I thought we agreed that if I paid for all of the utilities at home, that you and Dad said you would handle the housework. You told me that you would agree to doing it if I paid you $1,500 a month, remember?
I know, but I thought I told you that we need to raise that up to $3,000 a month or else it just wasn't going to cut it. But you told me, remember? You said that you know $1,500 would be enough for me. So basically, you denied your mom more money and still expect her to take care of the house. I don't think I'm being unfair in describing that if you basically forcing your dad to clean the house for peanuts.
I'm sorry, but I just don't see why you would need that much money given that I'm already paying for so much around here.
Because I have expenses that I need to cover as well, okay? And I don't need you making a big deal about the price. Did you know that last month I went through all the money you gave me just on food alone?
You only spent it all on food because you and Dad used it to treat yourselves to eating out all the time. And when you would cook at home, you went to the most expensive grocery stores for your ingredients. I'm sorry, but if you don't know how to spend your money wisely, that isn't my fault. You and Dad need to realize that the family business is not bringing in the money that it used to, and you two need to learn how to save for your futures.
But it isn't fair! I hate that cheap supermarket near our house. It's clear that everyone who shops there is so poor, and I stick out like a sore thumb.
Well, it's either learn how to spend your money wisely or go into debt again, okay? You do realize that when I get married, I'm going to move out of the house, and that means I'm going to be paying for a lot less. So that's why I'm trying to help you and Dad get your finances in order before that happens. Can't you see that it's for the good of you two that I'm doing this?
Oh, really? You have got some nerve pretending like you're doing this all from the good of your heart. And just what is this talk about you getting married when you don't even have a boyfriend? I wish that you would get married just so that you could finally leave us alone.
You don't really mean that, do you? Is that really what you want to happen?
It doesn't matter since you don't even have a man who could ask you to marry him. Although it isn't like I haven't tried setting you up with countless good-looking young men. Do you have any idea how hard it was to arrange some of those dates for you? If anything, I should be getting more money from you just for doing that service. Besides, at least if you did get married to someone, then between your two incomes, you could easily afford to give me $3,000 a month.
I really don't know what to say to that. Here I was thinking that you were just concerned about me. But now you come out and say that this whole thing was just a way for you to try and get more money from me?
Of course this is about the money. You've been living at home with your father and I for far too long now. Why else do you think I've been trying so hard to find someone you can marry? I want you to get out there, marry some rich guy, and make sure that your dad and I get a kickback.
Mom, I don't even want to have this conversation with you anymore. I'm going to marry someone for love, and that's it. And when I do marry, you and Dad aren't going to see another penny from me. Do you understand? Now I need to go and calm down and think about things. Sally, are you there? Please, you need to get back to me right away. Have you been in contact with Mom and Dad lately? I just got back from work and neither of them are home. Do you have any idea where they might be? Even all their things are gone. The house is practically empty. Do you have any idea what might be going on here?
Oh, I think I have a very good idea. After all, Mom and Dad are sitting right here next to me. And they are both just so happy about how much they were able to sell the house for. So, the three of us are all together to celebrate a job well done on our part.
Wait a second, what do you mean they sold the house? I don't understand.
Well, the house is empty. You said so yourself, right? And the reason is because Mom and Dad decided to sell the house and the land it was on. Which means that you might want to start packing up your bags and getting ready to leave too. Because you certainly won't be able to stay there much longer.
Wait a second, are you serious? Did Mom and Dad seriously try and sell that house? When did this happen? Why wasn't I told about this at all until now? I mean, I can't just come home to the news that the house is gone. That isn't fair.
Aw, yeah. I guess this means that you'll have to find another place to live right away, huh? Sucks for you, ha ha ha. But then again, this is what you get for being such a little leech on Mom and Dad until now. You don't deserve to stay with them. So I say that this is what you get.
You still really think that I've been leeching off Mom and Dad this whole time?
I don't think, I know. I know that you're almost 40 and you're still expecting your mom and dad to take care of you. Well, I'm glad that Mom and Dad finally wised up to what you were doing to them. I talked to Mom and she told me that she would much rather live with us rather than you. That's why we kept this a secret from you. But now the house is sold and there's nothing you can do about it.
So then Mom and Dad are going to be moving in with you and your family instead?
That's right. And you're going to be left out in the cold with no one to take care of you anymore. Mom and Dad knew this was the only way to get you to stand on your own 2 feet and finally find yourself a man.
I don't believe it. I never would have guessed in a million years that Mom and Dad would have done this to me. And I'm even surprised about your husband. You two haven't even been married that long, but he's going along with this?
He was more than happy to let Mom and Dad come and live with us, actually. Now I'm going to take care of Mom and Dad and make sure I get all the inheritance.
What inheritance are you talking about? There's nothing left if they sold the house. After all, Dad's business is more of a liability than an asset right now.
Well, I'll still get the money that they got from the house. Besides, I would be more concerned about finding out where you're going to live.
Oh, I'm not worried about that at all. If Mom and Dad sold their house, I'll just go and live with my boyfriend.
Is that your way of saying you're going to try and make a little hut for yourself out of all your romance novels? Too bad the men from those books aren't real. No one's going to come and save you now.
No, I meant I'll just go and live with my flesh and blood boyfriend. But anyways, enjoy ruining your marriage by living with Mom and Dad. Hope that goes well for you. After all, if you're taking care of them, that just means that it'll be up to you to help with their debt now.
Their debt? What do you mean by that? I thought Dad was able to sell his company for a ton of money.
I don't know where you got that information from, but Dad did not sell his company. In fact, it's on the brink of bankruptcy, actually. Mom and Dad were both going into so much debt just to keep the business afloat.
No, that can't be right. I mean, Mom told me that it was a huge sale. She told me that her and Dad were going to be set for life.
I see. So it was Mom who gave you the bad information. Well, I'm sorry to break it to you, but I'm only telling you the truth. In fact, this has been a problem with them for a while. They both just never could wrap their heads around making less money. And their spending habits only worsened because of that. They ended up in a cycle of taking out new loans to pay back their old ones.
I don't believe this. Why didn't I know any of this? This is crazy.
Well, one of the reasons why I stayed with Mom and Dad so long was because I was helping them restructure their finances. If anything, I'm just glad that it's not my problem anymore.
But then, if all they really have is debt, that means that I'm not going to get any money from them at all.
Yeah, but at least you have your Porsche-buying husband to help you out with that. Don't worry, I'm sure that all of you will be able to figure this out and get along with each other, right? In the end, Sally did end up sticking to her word and let Mom and Dad move in with her and her husband. A part of me hoped that living together would have pushed them towards humility, but instead it just brought out the worst in them. Now it wasn't just Sally, but even my mom who was posting pictures of social media of her showing off the fancy house, car, and everything else that Sally and her husband owned. But it wasn't long before commenters on their posts were accusing them of leading a fake rich lifestyle that was all just for show. This all came to light when it was discovered that between all of them, they had well over $100,000 in debt. The last I heard, Sally's home was being repossessed and they all had to move into a cramped apartment together so they could all focus on their debt. Of course, how well that's going in practice is a whole nother question.
Hey, Lisa! Today's the day we're moving in with you guys. You haven't forgotten about it, have you? Oh, hello, Mina. Moving in with us? I'm sorry, but I'm not really sure what you're talking about. Do you seriously not remember? I thought we talked about this. I'm going to move in with you guys. We're going to live together from today. I thought I told you that wasn't going to be possible. Wait, did you really say that? I thought that you said it would be okay. Well, it's a little too late for you to tell me that now. I've already packed up all my belongings and sent it to your house. I'm moving in with you guys today. You can't cancel on the day that the move is happening.
What are you talking about? I told you countless times that you couldn't move in with us.
Well, you might have said something like that to me, but there's no proof. I also don't see what the problem would be with me moving in with you guys. The house that you guys are living in is huge. It's not going to make that much of a difference even if I move in.
I'm sorry, but I really don't understand. Which house are you even talking about?
I'm talking about the huge house that you and Sean live in. Remember when I visited you guys along with my children? That's the house I'm talking about. You don't need to worry about me bringing my children with me this time around, though. It'll be just myself moving in with you guys.
What do you mean by that? What happened to Ryan? He was so small and cute the last time I saw him.
He's going to be living with my husband. I'm going to be completely free now. It's a little sad, but I'm still really young. There's so many things that I want to do now that I'm single again. It feels good to not have any responsibilities again.
So you guys really did get a divorce from each other?
Yeah, we ended up going through with the divorce. Today is the last day that I can live in this house. He's going to kick me out after today. That's why I have no choice but to move in with you guys. I thought that I told you all this already. Did you forget everything that I told you?
It's not like I forgot what you told me at all. I actually remember you telling me about this very clearly. It's just that I also told you that you wouldn't be able to move in with us. Do you not remember that part of the conversation?
I chose to ignore what you told me. I really have nowhere else to go. That's why you have to let me move in with you guys. You don't get to say no to me. Where do you want me to go if I can't live with you? Do you just expect me to rot in the streets?
I don't know, but I think that's something that you need to solve without my help. There's just no way you would be able to live with us.
Why are you being so selfish about this? You guys live in such a big house.
I'm not being selfish at all. We don't live in that big house anymore. I'm surprised that you didn't know about it.
Stop making up lies like that. Is Sean with you right now? He still hasn't replied to any of my text messages. I'm going to need his help when taking all my belongings into my room. I have some very heavy things that I can't carry by myself. Make sure you guys are both ready to help me move in.
Wait, what? I told you that you can't move into that house with us. Are you not listening to anything that I'm telling you?
I'm going to arrive at your house in the afternoon today. I sent some of my belongings to your house a few days ago in a cardboard box. Did the packages arrive already?
Did you not listen to anything I told you? Which house did you send the boxes to?
Why do I have to keep repeating this? I sent it all to the house you guys live in. Have the boxes still not arrived then? Why weren't you home to accept the packages when the mailman came? I thought you were a housewife. Aren't you supposed to be at home the entire time? Now I'm going to have to get the packages re-delivered, and it's all your fault.
The packages haven't arrived here because we no longer live in that big house anymore. We moved. I'm not going to be able to receive packages that have been sent to my previous house. We no longer live there.
Yeah, whatever. Why do you keep on making up so many lies? I guess you really don't want me living with you. It's too late, though. I've already hired a moving company, and they're going to be arriving at your house today with all my belongings. I am definitely going to have to live with you guys.
Have you not received any messages from Sean about this?
Yeah, I just received a couple messages from him. I'm not going to read it properly, though. He's saying pretty much the same thing as you. I can't believe that you guys are both saying the same lie to me. I'm not going to get fooled by either of you. I have nowhere else to go, so just let me live with you guys. I'll find a job soon so that I'm not always at home. There should be no problem with you guys having one extra person living with you. This is the last time I'm going to tell you this, so please listen very carefully. We no longer live in the house that you're trying to move into. There's no point sending your belongings and a truck full of your belongings to that house. We no longer live there. That house is either empty or some strangers are living there. It's not going to be possible for you to live there. We also can't allow you to move into our new place either. What is wrong with you? All you do is make up lies and excuses. I'm really busy with preparations, so I don't have time to be talking to you about this. I'll contact you again once I start heading over to your house. Oh my god! I am not lying or making anything up. We don't live in that house anymore! Hello, Lisa? I really need to talk to you. Would you be able to pick up the phone? I'm sorry, but I can't right now. Well, I'm going to need your help either way. Something really strange has happened. I arrived at your house and tried to go inside. Some strangers that I don't know answered the door. I wonder if I got the address of your house wrong. It has been a while since I visited, after all. I told you this about 5 times already. We no longer live in that house. Were you really not listening to anything that I was saying to you? What are you talking about? You're just joking, right? Where are both you and Sean? Hurry up and come meet me outside. I'm not joking at all. We decided to sell that house a little while ago. I can't believe it. Where am I meant to live then? I have no idea about that. That's for you to figure out. Me and Sean decided to move in with your parents at their house. Wait, what? We renovated the house so that me and Sean have a separate unit that is connected to your parents' house. What are you talking about? I haven't heard anything about this. When did this happen? I think we moved in around 2 months ago. Are you really sure you haven't heard anything about this? I haven't heard anything. I really wanted to know about this before I got to your old house. Would you hurry up and tell me the new address of the house that you're all living in right now? Even the truck driver of the moving company is really confused. He's asking me for instructions on what to do. I need you to hurry up and tell me. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to do that. Both your mom and dad cut ties with you completely, right? Well, that's none of your business at all. Why do you even know about that? It doesn't matter how I found out. I won't be able to answer your question. I am not going to betray my parents-in-law. Don't worry. They really won't care if you tell me. I am their daughter, after all. I think they would want to help me out. I am in a pretty bad situation, after all. If you think they want to help you out, you can contact them by yourself. Go and ask them if they're willing to let you move in with us. Well, I don't want to ask them directly. It would be really awkward. That's why I'm asking you instead. Just hurry up and tell me the address. I just got a divorce and got kicked out of my house. You should be feeling sorry for me. I'm sorry, but I don't feel sorry for you at all. You were the one that got yourself into the situation you're in right now. What do you mean by that? You guys got a divorce because you cheated on your husband, right? You deserve to be kicked out of his house. Why do you know about that? I never told you. Who did you hear that from? I heard about it from your mom. Your husband sued you and you had to pay a lot of money to him, right? I heard that you couldn't pay for it yourself, so your dad had to pay all the money instead. Well, that's true, but it has nothing to do with this. Actually, I think it's all very relevant. Your mom was very sad that she would no longer be able to see her grandson, Ryan. She was very disappointed because you just abandoned your own child and kept on going on dates with random men. You betrayed both Ryan and your husband. That's why both your parents no longer want to see you. There's no point talking about things that happened in the past. I can't do anything about it now. You don't seem to feel sorry for what you did at all. I'm pretty sure that your parents are not going to be helping you out at all. Wait, what? Are they seriously just going to abandon me like this? Where the hell am I meant to live now, then? Who knows? You're going to have to find someone else to help you out. Why don't you just tell me the address you live at? There's no need to ask my parents for permission because I'm asking you directly. I'll be able to convince Mom and Dad once I've moved in. I'm sorry, but I am still not going to be telling you. I'm actually pregnant right now with Sean's child. There's other reasons why I don't want you moving in with us. I've been insulted and looked down on by you ever since we met each other. What are you talking about? I don't remember doing anything to you at all. You kept on mocking me because I'm a few years older than Sean. You told me that I was an old hag and that I wouldn't be able to get pregnant. Well, you were wrong. I was finally able to become pregnant. Good for you! Congratulations on becoming pregnant. I don't remember insulting you at all. It was probably just a friendly joke. You called me an old grandma and old hag multiple times. You also told me that I would be too old to raise my children even if I gave birth. I was very hurt by all the insults you said to me. I don't care about it that much anymore, though. I realized that you were a really pathetic person. I actually feel really sorry for you. How dare you say that to me? Why do you feel sorry for me? I feel sorry for you because you've lost both Ryan and your husband. You're never going to be able to see them ever again because of your selfish actions. That's not for sure. I might be living with them again in a few years' time. I seriously doubt that. I heard that your husband was absolutely furious with you. I think that the damage you caused is beyond repair. Well, that has nothing to do with you. That's very true. I shouldn't be sticking my head into your business. I'll make sure to stay away from you in the future. You should do the same. Why don't you go and live with the man that you cheated on your husband with? Actually, I guess you would have tried that already. I imagine that he decided to break up with you. That's why you're trying to move in with us. You really need to shut up. I was actually the one that ended things with him. He didn't dump me. Or you decided to run away because his wife tried to sue you for sleeping with him. Apparently you've been taking money from him and he's been stealing whatever he can to please you. You were unable to pay the money and panicked, right? So you know about that too? I didn't even tell my parents about this. How do you know? So I was right? I should become a detective. It was just a random guess that I made. It sounds like I was correct based off your reaction. That was a random guess? Stop making weird predictions about my love life. Anyway, none of this is important right now. I need to find a place to move into. Where am I meant to go? You need to do something about this. Please try to convince my mom and dad to forgive me already. I have nowhere else to go. I'm really going to become homeless at this rate. It's pointless to even try. They're definitely not going to be forgiving you for what you've done. Have you even read the text messages that Sean has sent you? Not yet. What is he saying? Both your parents have completely blocked your number so that you can never contact them ever again. Wait, what? He would go that far? You should just read the text messages. He should have also told you to only contact him in real emergencies. I just read everything that he had sent me. What you're telling me is really true. I'm no longer going to be able to talk to my parents. That's why you should have read the text he sent you properly. You wouldn't be in the situation you're in if you had bothered to read. What is Sean even doing right now? He's not answering the phone at all. I've been trying to call him for a while now. He's sitting right next to me and reading the text messages that you've been sending me. Wait, what? Why isn't he trying to help me out? I am his sister! Well, it doesn't really seem like you're in a major emergency. That's why both of us are choosing not to pick up your calls. We promise that we'll answer your call if you're in a real emergency. So you guys are enjoying watching me struggle like this? You guys are both terrible people. We're not enjoying it at all, actually. We do both agree that this is all your fault, though. We don't feel sorry for you at all. You betrayed your husband, who is such a lovely person. You also decided not to take care of Ryan at all. He should have been your #1 priority as a mom. Then you were sued by your ex-husband and couldn't even pay him the money yourself. You had to ask your parents to pay it all for you. What have you ever done for them? All you've done is embarrass your family and ruined your life. We think that you're a huge idiot. You're making it sound like I'm such a terrible person. Not everything that you just said is true either. It's not like I didn't take care of Ryan at all. I looked after him pretty well most of the time. I made a mistake of going on vacation and leaving him at home by himself, but there was a reason for that. I had no idea that my husband would go on a business trip at the same time. I think I would still be married if I didn't make that one mistake. I can't believe that you would leave a 4-year-old behind by himself at home. I totally understand why your husband was furious with you. You also cheated on him as well on top of that. If I were him, I would never forgive you. I admit that I made a mistake. I am human after all. We all make mistakes sometimes. I really regret all the bad things I've done. Could we please just meet and talk this out? I really need your help. I promise that I'll apologize to both Sean and my parents. Please just tell me the address where you all live. I'm begging you. I thought that I told you I couldn't do that already. I'm getting kind of bored texting with you now. I have other stuff that I have to get done today. I'm going to put my phone down now. Wait, what? You can't just leave yet. We haven't sorted anything out. That's not our problem at all. You can sort it out yourself. Please don't contact me ever again unless it's a real emergency. So you're really not going to help? What am I meant to do then? You're a 40-year-old adult. Surely you can find a place to live by yourself. You're not a child anymore. Grow up and deal with this problem by yourself. No one's going to be willing to help someone like you. Goodbye. Mina ended up asking the moving company to store all her luggage and belongings in a storage unit as she had no place to move into. It cost her a lot of money to use the storage unit as it was very last minute. She had been kicked out of her ex-husband's house and was unable to move in with her parents as they had cut ties with her. She was unable to find an apartment that she could afford to rent, so she decided to look for a job that would also offer her a place to stay. Unfortunately, not many companies were willing to employ a 40-year-old woman with basically no work experience. She looks like she has completely ruined her life because of her selfish actions. It might be a long time before her situation starts to improve.